guys. All right, it has been a heck of a week and we have a lot to talk about. All right, so I wanted to do sort of like a beauty focus. I made a little tutorial for my look today. Fall makeup is something since the beginning of YouTube, or me doing YouTube and seeing things online, following beauty influencers. If you do, like, you're gonna see the typical fall makeup, fall makeup, fall makeup. It's just like a plug and play, like that's what we do every fall. And it's always the same. And this year, I really adjusted my makeup to kind of fit a few little trends, but also in a new way. We want matte satin skin, okay? We want like cooler eye makeup with a hint of maybe a plum, okay? A little bit of a sheen only on the eyes, okay? And then not the boring, basic, run-of-the-mill, easy peasy, oh, I'm gonna do fall makeup tutorial, let's do some dark lips. Like, no, we wanna adjust it a little, but I think the tone matters, and this is a perfect, I have some perfect fall lipsticks. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do like a top 10 beauty items for fall. I recorded a little tutorial of my makeup this morning. My new knits came in and I have put up a Christmas tree, okay? So we got a lot to talk about. Oh, all right, before we get started, here's my outfit. Now, when I ordered this, I'm not gonna lie, I had this boxed up and ready to return because I just didn't love the look of it when it came in. I thought, this looks basic, whatever. And then I started thinking and I was like, well, okay, I don't know. Because then I started looking at other like V-neck, sweater vests. And I thought they all look like that. Let me just try it on. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is such a good one. So really, really love this. I also got a few others and I was gonna I'm gonna try these on, okay? I'll try these on in just 1 second. But I also really just wanna talk about this quickly. I got, and I'm like, I gotta show them this because it's gonna make you real happy, okay? I bought these last week. They're called the Sunday, whatever, the sweatshirt. Abercrombie does sweatshirts and sweats like no one. You can wash and dry the hell out of them. They will last forever. I am so sick of these BS sets and all this stuff, even very expensive ones I bought where you wash them once and they suck. These don't, okay? So I wore this 3 days in a row. It smells good. It smells like perfume. That's what it smells. I mean, I did wear it 3 days in a row. Whatever, I'm gonna wear it again. But the pants, okay, so it's their basic, just beautiful sweatshirt that feels like butter. This color is so beautiful. But the pants come in lengths. Now, I got regulars, but they are long. I'm 5'7". They're so good. The perfect sweats, you guys. Look at what I also got. And I haven't worn this one yet. I got pink camo. Now, they did have a beautiful rose. These come in a million colors, okay? Solids, some prints. But I thought, I kind of wish I would have gotten the solid rose. And I'm sure I'll give it a week. And I'll be like, sure, I'll buy it now. But I just thought that this pink camo was the cutest thing I've ever seen. And this is the type of stuff we wear in the fall and winter. Don't kid yourselves, okay? I'm running around town every day. And when I'm at home, that's what I like to wear. Okay. Quickly, let's get into the sweaters. All right, so this is a company that's from France. Now, this is gonna be something, I think once a season I'll buy something from this brand. Cezanne. I'm always looking for new brands, okay? I like to buy a lot of things from Nordstrom, not just because it's Nordstrom, but because it's several brands. I love a department store situation. I don't wanna look like the J. Crew, you know what, running down the street, like, okay, she's obviously dressed head to toe in this or that. Like, you could tell where some things, I like a mix and match. But I'm constantly looking for like a go-to place okay, those Quince sweaters, stop, okay, I got another one. The cashmere, but this is like a nice brand. I wanna put nice things in my wardrobe that I'll have forever. Look at these buttons, it's gorgeous. You wear it kind of like I'm wearing this vest today, just buttoned up, or you can open it, whatever, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous sweater. If you're looking for 100% cashmere, this is not an ad, for an incredible price. I'm talking like cashmere sweaters. If it's a blend, some people say, oh, it's a cashmere sweater. And look, it's an expensive one. It's 60, 70 bucks for a blend. This is 100%, oh my, So I will link the other two that I got last week, that came in last week, that I wore for the video if you missed it. Those are amazing. I think one was under $100, 100% Mongolian cashmere. Another one I think was right around 100. And I know, no, cashmere sweaters, you just can't find them other places. And again, if you've ever found them cheaper than that, they're a blend, okay? This one came in. Quickly, gotta cut in here. All right, so this top, so cute. You don't even need to do the little, sometimes I like that, but whatever. This is cute, and it's 100% cashmere. If you guys, first of all, so many of y'all bought this necklace, and when I say like it's so special to me, and you know, under here is where the little engraving goes. Look at the back of it, how it looks like a little heart. And again, you can have it shaped like an oval. I just picked round. An emerald. You can do silver, sterling silver or gold. This is 18 karat gold over sterling silver. You could do moissanite or a diamond, and you can engrave what you want. This is just so special. And they also have one that's like a herringbone that's flat that I think I'm gonna get next. But I don't know, this is it. This is just so special. And again, for the holidays, if you want a nice gift idea, that's not like a cheesy piece of jewelry, it's just beautiful, so great. But this is just my everyday, and it's really unique. Okay, but anyways, when I leaned in to show the top, I was like, oh, this necklace. And so many of you guys, I was shocked. A lot of you guys bought this, and I do have the 20% off code, okay, which is really good because then that brings the price down quite a bit. And again, kind of similar to the sweater I just showed, but a little thicker. I'd say this is the must, okay? This is the must have. This one, also very cute, okay? Love this one. So those are the knits that came in as promised. I told you guys that I would share that. But what I'm wearing today, I got this on. I've got these jeans that I just wear all the time. You don't need a million pairs of jeans. Just get one good pair of, you know, one good pair. And then when I head out, I'm going to put on these boots. Now these boots also come in a shorter heel. Great, great, great pair of boots, okay? Let's talk beauty, all right? I need to sit down, so I'm going to adjust here a little bit so that we can sit. Oh, and then I got my little bag. Okay, let me just adjust. I just wanted to get through that at the beginning, and like I said, I did a little, like a, you know, little tutorial with this, which very quick. Okay, I do want to do like a get ready with me at some point, like just a typical like morning routine where we just talk. We're kind of overdue for that. We'll do that soon. This is just like a little, but I did do this tutorial, and it's just quick, it's to the point, and I will link that below. It's just a quick little 2-second video you can watch, not just 2 seconds, but we need to talk about the product, okay? If you want top 10 beauty products for fall, this is what we're doing. And also too, you guys, I think through the weekend, I think it's through this weekend, the Colleen Rothschild, and maybe a little bit of next week, the 25% off. Again, okay, these pads, I used to use the Peter Thomas Roth pads, we used to do all that. I have had the best skin in the last year, and you guys, these are incredible. The glycolic acid, you don't need a code, okay? I'm just gonna give you guys my recs, but the amount of AHA that's in this is just perfect. Huge pads, there's 60 in here. I use these at night because it's an AHA, okay? At night only. It's great exfoliation. This is the key to smooth, poreless skin. And I read something the other day. Let me just get on this, okay? People used to tell me years ago, and I have used a physical exfoliant, I'm about to blow your mind, every single day, probably since I was 15. And I know that sounds insane, and I never fell victim or fell like, blah, to the like, oh, you're gonna tear up your skin. No, now people are saying, you're gonna see a really big rise in physical exfoliants. And Colleen has a good one, I'll link to hers. Oh, physical exfoliants, the key to unlocking healthy skin, because it tricks your skin to producing more like collagen, you know what I mean? Been telling you for 17 years, but no problem. Okay, so just I'm telling you, and when I go get facials and stuff, people always comment on my skin. Even when I had like breakouts and I was having some issues, my skin was still good. So you want to use a physical exfoliant. I will link to Colleen's, which is amazing. I've been using that lately a lot. And those pads. You need a mix of both, okay? Then every morning I use this moisturizer. I got a new one ready to go. I've gone through a bunch of these. I'm just about to be out. And I love it when a product isn't secretive. I wanna see how much product I have left. Nothing worse than a product that you can't see how much you have left. So I love this. There's never a mystery as to when I'm gonna run out, but this really is like the holy grail moisturizer. Cannot live without it. Nothing could replicate it. The Gentle and Clear. And it has a touch of salicylic acid, which I didn't even know it had until recently, but I'm like, maybe that's the key. But it has like properties that really help if you have oily skin. This is why it's good to use in the morning. I use it at night too, but mostly in the, and it's very rich. So I'm just telling y'all, this is what you want, okay? Okay, these schools across the street don't know how to use their driveway, and I am gonna ram the okay, no. All right, so with your skin, like with your actual makeup, okay, we're getting into the must. So I'll link to like those and to other products that I'm gonna kind of recommend from Colleen, because 25% off, like I said, no code required. I just wanna share good things with y'all. Now, something that is a trend, and when I saw this, I was like, ugh, but very, very matted out skin for fall. Now, matte skin, when you think, oh, that's gonna hide my pores and stuff, a lot of times if you have really matte, cakey makeup, it accentuates your texture and it can accentuate some problems. So you have to have that perfect, is really like kind of dewier skin or just more natural skin, but not greasy looking, because then that can accentuate problems. So it's a balance. But I'm going even further to like the matte side, but for me, I thought I need like a really good, very good coverage where you can use less of it, because the more product you use, the crappier it's going to look if you use a matte makeup. Like, it needs to be very like high coverage, silky. This may be the best formula of foundation I've ever used. Not joking, you guys. I was, just looking for like a matte foundation. I looked for so long. I was so happy to find this one. It's called like the Matte Blur. It doesn't say exactly what it is on here. Probably on the bottom, but my eyes are failing me. Real problem with my eyeballs. But anywho, this is the shade 2W. I could have probably gone a little lighter, but I don't know. It's looking real good in here. But I do like sort of a warmer foundation. I don't want to look, also if I'm wearing matte foundation, I don't want to look dead, okay? This is very unique. It is an Instant Blur Priming Eye Cream. Everyone's singing from the rooftops about primer, and I'm okay, I think that it's not necessary. But eye primer, wow, groundbreaking. And I'm like, why doesn't every brand do this? This is nice. It's got a lot of good skincare loving ingredients, skin loving ingredients. Really great for anti-aging. So much great what am I trying to say? Ingredients. The Instant Blur Priming Eye Cream. You guys, this is cool, okay? You can use it in place of your eye cream. Sometimes I'll lay it over mine, but then you just do your makeup over it. And I'm telling you, I feel like I get less creasing, especially like up under here. My makeup looks better throughout the day. Here's what, don't be afraid of the matte. We want a matte, like blurred effect, okay? Matte blurred effect. Oh, this is something else, Colleen, that I put in here. This is a product that I don't think gets enough love. I remember I talked about it when it first came out, and I honestly would use it every now and then, like around areas where I would get like, wrinkles, or, it's the Age Renewal Super Serum. I'm not kidding you guys. This stuff is great. It's not greasy, but it's very, very rich. I have been using this on my neck. This is, if you're a Colleen Rothschild fan, you got to get this for your neck. All right, so I don't even know what number we're on, because I'm not counting that Colleen stuff, but yeah, skincare is important. Oh, and then a brush that goes with your foundation. So we need we're talking foundation, okay? That's like one. This is a great foundation brush. Now, y'all know I'm not the hugest proponent of foundation brush a lot. They're not all created equal. This is a great one, and I don't think it gets enough love. This one is fabulous. Now listen to this, guys. Talc-free. Brands are starting to catch on. NARS blushes, they're called talc-free now, okay? They used to be loaded with talc. Now, I swear the old ones used to have talc. Now they have a separate listing for talc-free shades. Now, for fall, you might think plum, burgundy, dark cheeks. We don't want that, okay? We don't want that. We want to focus on the eyes and your skin. And we want a warm, beautiful, soft blush. And at first, when I saw this color, I was like, that ain't gonna do nothing. I'm telling you, you guys, this is what you want. You want a matte beautiful talc-free blush. You want a beautiful, like, healthy color that's not, we don't wanna go pink. We don't wanna go too dark either. Because I don't understand that. I mean, I guess it's a very editorial look, but it ain't translating in real life. The like, let's look like a corpse for fall. We ain't doing that anymore. That's old news, okay? And then this, I'm embarrassed to show you how used it looks, but you wanna still be using your bronzer, not to look sun-kissed, but to be in place of the dead girl contours. We're not doing dead person contour anymore, okay? Not to get morbid, but that's not the look I'm going for. Use a little bit of it. You'll see, I apply all this in my little tutorial, but you just do that for, okay, you know. But anyways, the blush is very important. Now, setting powder, I've always been super, super like, ugh, because it just wrecks the finish of your foundation when you're gonna be using like a specific kind of foundation that has a natural finish. And then you're setting it, you may as well just gone to the drugstore and grabbed something random or use nothing at all. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the finish no longer matters. With the matte look, and even with like regular foundations that are a little more natural, I have been loving like a more sheer, you guys know the ones that I've talked about, the talc-free setting powders. And I keep saying talc-free because talc is the #1 ingredient in most powders. I would say over 90% of powders. If talc is the first ingredient, it means that's the most, because ingredients go from listed first to last. Listed first means there's the most of that particular ingredient. It's always talc, and it is the most pore clogging ingredient. You are touching up oily skin or using powders on oily skin, as we do if we have oily skin that have talc. That's why your skin texture might not be so great. That's why you're breaking out in those areas where you might think, oh, that's hormonal. It's because that's the area where your skin's producing oil and then it's creating cement in your pores. When I switched to talc-free stuff, I don't even want to say that I have not had a breakout since February, okay? I've been keeping track with that as a person with breakout prone skin, you know, and I'm fighting that every day to not break out with things. I have found the most beautiful loose setting powder that is talc-free. Laura Mercier now has a loose talc-free, and this is the Ultra Blur, okay? Rose. And this is what I used to set, and I use a puff. Get a little bit in there, and you kind of taco the puff. You rub it, and then yeah. That's what it sounds like when you set your makeup, if you didn't know that. And then, okay, so that's gonna create the perfect blur. That's what we want. We want a satin blur, a satin matte blur. We wanna look blurry. Now for the eyes, typical. Let's do autumn tones, warm autumn tones. I'm a warm eyeshadow kind of gal, so going back to some cool tones was a bit of a struggle for me. But again, I embraced the matte trend, and I'm embracing the cool tone trend. And when I was younger, I lived for some plum, like purple eyeshadow. Listen to me. The different tones are great, but I don't want to be screaming to the world. Like, I don't want to go out and be like, purple, you know, but not because but I just don't think it looks that great. You want to get like a brown that is plummy toned. Okay, so here's what we did. I used this color first. A very cool neutral. It went all over the lid, and it was actually pretty cool on its own. And then I did this plummy brown in the outer corner and under here, and used only my fingers to blend, just and it was so easy, you guys. I'm telling you, we don't need to be like tugging and blending and doing the most. That's all I used. And then toward the end of my look, I was like, and again, I have the little quick, I don't want to be redundant. I'm not filming it twice, but I'll show you, but I have it linked to my little tutorial. Now, the shiny lid, or the lid with a shimmer, I stay away from a lot of frost eyeshadows in a lot of cases because I just feel like it really ages you. And I'm not saying that to be like following a trend or just to say what most people say about frosty eyeshadows. It does if you don't do it correctly, but I'm over that. And it changes the color of your eyeshadow in a really odd way. And I just want everything to be like brown and pretty. So this is what you want. These little like shimmery eye dusts, okay? They come in lighter shades, dark shades. I really struggled with like which one I wanted, and I ended up getting this one in chiffon, and I'm telling you, it's like a luster. You just use your finger, and you'll see in the little video, I first did my makeup without it, and then I was like, I'm gonna show you how you could just layer it on if you want, like, I hate to say this, to take your makeup from day to night. Nobody's doing that, but sometimes, you know, in the daytime I'm not like going out with a full like, yay. And then at night I'm out and be like, boop, 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 boop. And this is what you want. No fallout. No, I see people reinventing the wheel of like, here's what you do to avoid fallout with shimmery products. The product just sucks and this shouldn't be what you're using, you know? This is easy. I don't want to make things be so complicated. You know, people do really overcomplicate things, or they just don't know that they can look for things that aren't complicated. But this is the coolest product. And when you tap it on, it just looks like liquid and it's beautiful. And it really added a lot to my eyeshadow. And I think this is a must for fall, okay? Because we want the matte skin. We want the shimmery lids. Shimmery. We want the, what am I trying to say? Shiny, luster, beautiful, wet look. Speaking of Victoria Beckham, you guys gotta watch that documentary. I was a Posh Spice girl back in the day, which I think really, you see girls that really follow like a Taylor Swift, or they follow certain people. It kind of informs like maybe who they become or whatever. I think that era of my life, 97, 98, 90, Spice Girls real big, you know, that was 7th, 8th grade for me. I lived for Victoria Beckham. After that, kept living for her, you know, Posh Spice. Didn't know her as Victoria Beckham then, okay? She was Posh Spice. She was Victoria, what was her name? Adams. That was my girl. That was who I wanted to be. Every haircut of hers I had over the years, the shaved up back, the this, the that, the bob, her personality. When my friends would play, ain't nobody wanted to be posh. Victoria Beckham really jumped off later, like in that way. When I was watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I had forgotten so much, you know, because I was young, but I'm like, how she informed a lot of my personality before she was like Victoria Beckham. Like, did you get the chicken meat? What is he talking about? Sorry, Brad's at the grocery store. Fun. No, I just, it was wild to me when I watched that, and I'm like, yeah, because when I was growing up, everyone wanted to be Baby Spice, Ginger Spice. Everyone thought I was nuts because I was a Posh Spice fan. I didn't know anybody else that was like, wow, for Posh Spice. And then Victoria Beckham became Victoria Beckham, and then everyone kind of started seeing her as in a different way. I don't know, but it was just, it was good. Okay, back on track. Now, this is something that I will buy this over and over. I just cracked open a new one. These last forever. It is the Tom Ford eyeliner. One side is a black, like very hard, smaller, black. You know, this one's like more of a felt. This is my favorite end though. It's sort of a black and brown with like a brush. That is what I use today. The perfect wing, because you do want a little bit of a wing. I'm back on that. And just trust me on this. You need to trust me on this. Everybody needs to trust me on this. You need to get a brown mascara. I have very dark features, black eyelashes, black brows. You want to, I've said it for years, okay? And I love black mascara, like I'll use it, you know, and I use it, some of my favorite ones, but I'm saying those brands need to make a brown because it just looks better. And guys, y'all know me, I use what I use. And I think a lot of designery mascaras, I think certain things, they just don't hit a lot of times. I'll use them, they're mascara, they're fine. This is new, and it is one of the best mascaras I have ever used in my life. It's dramatic. It's not wet and goopy. It gives you the most beautiful lashes, and the brown is perfect. And they have all different colors. If you are just like, Tiffany, I can't do it, I need black, just get it in black. But also don't get the brown. That's what you want this fall, okay? I'm telling you that. Now, that wasn't listed in the trends that I saw Googling that some 20-year-old probably came up with. But another trend that I did embrace are the fluffy brows. Now, my brows are very dark, and it's hard to make them look, I can't make my brows look like pale and like that. Just, they're very wiry. They're very, not thick, like, you know, I've never trimmed that. I've never plucked that. That's how they look. I did tweeze the hell out of the middle of them when I was younger, and I regret that. But at least I don't have any unibrow anymore, so that's great. But you don't want to be doing the penciled in, like, heavy brows, okay? We want to do, like, a fluffy brow. And for me, I really do like to use, like, a brow brow gel that's tinted. I use that a lot. And this one is a great one. I've had it in the clear. I love this in clear, but I'd never gotten a tinted, I don't think. It's the Air Brow. It's moussey, and it can be so wet, but when you put it on, it doesn't look wet and gelled. And this is a really good color. I got the soft brown. And that's all I use. I did not pencil them in or anything. Let's talk about lips. For my lip liner, I love these pencils. The Banquette is my favorite just for every day, but recently I picked this one up for fall. You guys may remember. This is beautiful. You can fill it in on your lips, but this is what I'm using for my lip liner. And it's the perfect color to go with like more plummy fall lips, because even if you go very dark, I don't think you should have that real, I think the real dark outer line, you know, just make it look nice. But then also I'm not really into the super dark lips. I won't say anymore because you never see me wearing that, but I would do that for fall. And I just don't know, you know what I mean? But I found two really great colors, and so I kind of splurged for like a nice one. Now, these are so fun. So you get the color that you want. And a lot of times I'm like, I don't really love those colors. They're too dark, they're too red. Okay, this is perfect, and it's what I'm wearing today. I love the smell of this, but look, it's the perfect, like kind of matte, but like satin. That's what we want. And it's a little, it's not like a natural nude lip. It has a pretty like mauve-y hint to it. And then you pick out, I love these. Okay, when you open it, it flips open. You can pick so many different, oh, there's a beautiful tortoise one. This one's leopard, how to get the leopard one. There's ones that look very like Art Deco, like carved metal, studded ones. I love this. I think this is so fun. And then I grabbed this color too. I have not had a Tom Ford lipstick in years. And this one's a tad darker. It's called Understated. And this is like, listen to me, okay? I'm a 90s gal. I came up in the 90s, early 2000s, and man, I was wearing that brown lipstick. You couldn't tell me different, okay? Every day. I'm a brown lipstick. I'm more for fall. I want to go like mauve brown instead of like plum and purple, but do whatever you want. And then this is a great lip balm, and I believe I talked about this before too, but it kind of reminds me of that Clinique Black Honey, but like I don't want to put it on over this, but this is a great lip balm. You can put it on and not look insane, like it's really pretty. And then this is gonna shock y'all. Okay, this is shock you. You'll be shocked. Byredo, you know, we've talked about that a lot over the years, and I went on that whole journey where I was like, I'm not gonna rebuy perfume. I've got so many great perfumes. Like when I run out of like my La Tulipe, I'm not gonna run to buy a new one. I'm gonna use the other Byredo perfumes I have. Now, years ago, I used Gypsy Water, and I used it up, and I bought another one. And I'd always say, oh, it's too lemony. It kind of smells a little like, you know, what's it called? Oh gosh, what's that Dolce & Gabbana? I smell a lot of lemon. But then I use this again, and I've been wearing it like with my sweaters, and as it mixes with my skin, it's actually very like woody and pine-ish. And I know you're like, pine for a perfume. And it does have a hint of the citrus makes it a little brighter. But I'm like, guys, this could be the quintessential. This could be, cut that out because that sounded stupid. This could be the perfect fall perfume. This could be. And that's what I'm saying, like fall perfume, you think, oh, heavy. Let's use like, what's the one called, like Velvet, which I have kind of been using that a little. Or like the Baccarat. And I kind of got off of that because y'all know I went ham on that stuff. I loved it. Oh my gosh, I had so many bottles of that. That was my signature for years, okay? You guys know. And everyone else. And every time I'm somewhere, I can smell it and I'm just like, okay. I want something odd and different, you know? And I don't want the basic typical fall perfume. But I think this is what we want, okay? And this used to be, I can't stop using, okay, Timmy, stop using it. It's expensive. It's nice stuff. This used to be like probably, I would say, I don't get it. You know, I don't get the hype. I did use a full bottle of it before, so I must have. But guys, I might repurchase this instead of La Tulipe when I use all my stuff, you know? That's that. So that's I would say, did we even count? I remember when I did when I rounded it all up, I was counting. But let's just that's the top 10. Top 10, okay? In no particular order, that was the top 10. Okay, before I go, I do want to take you guys somewhere special. Come with me. Let's go to Livy's bedroom. Now, I don't want to show you her room. I think that with kids, and with things on the internet and stuff. That's her private space. I'm not giving you a room tour. That's hers. It shouldn't be judged. That's kids' room, okay? And if you are showing your kids' room a lot, whatever, I don't care. But it's, you know, she's at the point now, too, where she wants posters and fun stuff, and I love it. But guys, I have something very special to show you, okay? Guys, could this be the most perfect Christmas tree you've ever seen? This is the little cute nook of her room. I love her room so much. It's like the coolest room. But this tree, I bought this tree last year, and I think when I bought it, it was like 68 or something for the 6 foot. They come all the way up to 12 foot. They have, this is the pink tinsel, pre-lit LED. And during the season, I do believe they went up in price a little, but it is still, I think, under $100 and an amazing price for a pre-lit LED 6 foot tree, as full as this is, okay? This could be like your main tree. The 6 foot tree is great. And y'all know I am not about even like a big 9 footer, but our tree in our giant like 20 plus foot ceiling family room is a 7.5 foot tree. It looks real, okay? I don't want the big fake looking tree. This is beautiful. It also comes in silver tinsel, gold tinsel, white. I love it. And I think that you guys really should grab this. This looks so cool if you have like a very neutral, like, oh, like a cool apartment or a cool girl apartment, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. You guys know. And oh my gosh, CB2 sells that one that is like $1,000, something close, $700-900. I don't even know. That's probably not much taller than this one. And it's like that tinsel-y bronze one. Don't be a sucker. This is beautiful. And it's like a rose goldy pink too. It's not a cheesy pink. But I think for this like cool retro look, or even just for a girl's room, or if whatever, this is cool, okay? So guys, that's it. I'll end it on this fun note. Thank you guys for watching so much. And again, if you want to see the quick little tutorial that I filmed this morning for y'all, I will link that below too. And we'll be back next week with a lot of fun. And I'll see you later. Bye, y'all.